Okay, it's June the 5th to 11. It's 5 to 9 p.m. and I'm here at Humber River, 7 miles north of Lake Ontario, and I'm shooting the orbs as they are leaving the water in mass. And these are all the organisms leaving the water in mass. Okay, I'm shooting right at the water, watch. I'm shooting close up, maybe 50 meters away. I just want to show them how many are just leaving the water. I will lower the stand later and show them coming right out the water. But I just want to show all around the riverbank, and you can see there the edge of the water at the other side of the riverbank, which is about 50 meters, 70 meters away. And look at all the orbs in the plants along the riverbank. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. All these organisms all over the riverbank. And the sun has gone down, and I am here just trying to shoot these orbs in the water. And I'm just going to put the camera right on the water so you can see the amounts of organisms that are just leaving the water. Look how many of them there are. Now you can see the water and the bank right there. And you can just see the organisms leaving the water. I'm going to take the other camera and shoot these two planes spraying chemicals all over, all the way up in the sky. Okay. And a real fast one. And spraying all the chemicals up in the sky. And there's another one on this side. That's a large trailer just left. There's another one up there. Just left another trail. These things are just crisscrossing the sky all over. Okay, so just showing the trees along the bank. Now I'm at 400x or so, maybe 300. And I'm shooting 100 meters away. And this is what's happening all along in the trees. around here. And I have trees right beside me, but the zoom would be too much to use over here. Here's a cluster that's gonna glow. It's getting ready to spark up. Okay, right on that plant. Okay, so there's the plant. Now that's just a small little cluster, but look at all the organisms that are around it, and they're going to just come all together and make a lot of glowing balls. Just look at them all. All our plants are saturated completely with all of these organisms. I mean, there's not one tree or plant around here that's not experiencing this attack. You could see them in the air, just all over. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I came here to shoot the orbs in the river, but just look at them all on the plants. I mean, that's even worse. Because they're just eating up all the plants. Just look at how many organisms that is. And I can point to any tree, any piece of grass, any place at all, and you can clearly see how many of these things there are and what they're doing. Some of the trees are no longer trees, they are just these organisms. Look over here, look at that. They're going to cluster up right there and glow very soon. Look at that. The clusters are getting larger. They are still small, but they are getting larger, and they're going to be growing. Look at this one in the trees right there. That one right there. And that's gonna glow soon. Look. So this is the kind of infestation from alien organisms I'm talking about. An alien, I mean hyperdimensional and definitely extraterrestrial, since they're not even from this dimension. And they're not from this planet. Look. Just look at the way they're just clustering up. Because it's getting close to dusk. And these organisms are going to just... look at that. The whole tree. Look at that. That's a cluster. One big cluster. Look how much of that spot it's taking up. Look. All the organisms on there. And I'm trying to get a big one that's like a parent organism. And they're really hard to get because they don't tend these things always. They come back and tend them once in a while, but not... Look at all of them on the leaves. You can see that that's no longer a leaf. Watch, if I back up, that's a leaf. When I come close to it, look, that's not a leaf. So the leaf is a hologram of a leaf. It's not the leaf at all. And you can practically see right through it. Just covered in these things. Look at the stem that's holding the leaf. Look at that. They're just covered in them. And these are microscopic, but you know, microscopic organisms can eat a lot of plant life, and they can also carry plagues. Now look at those clusters, how large they're getting. Look at that. Those are all clusters, and these are all grubs. They're like young little orbs, or orb-like organisms. Look at that whole tree. It's got a huge cluster on it. I mean, you know, and look, it's got one on each side. And there's another one over here. so there's clusters there. There's people walking around here because this is a path along the river that people can take just to you know, just to relax. But look, these things are everywhere, and you can't really relax if you know that they're here. And this is right on the ground, or very close to the ground. And look how many of those things there are. They're on flowers, they're on trees, look, they're on everything in sight. They just cover everything. You start to wonder, are these really flowers and trees? Because there's so many of these things you can't even see the real flower or tree, and maybe it's not a real flower or tree because it's so saturated with all these organisms. I'm just gonna shoot for a few orbs while there's still light out. Try and catch some of them in the water. You can see that there's a lot coming right off the water.